A very good morning to you and welcome back. The pictures that you are seeing now, that is the Castle of Goodhope down here in Cape Town. And people are starting to gather now as the commemoration is set to get underway at around 9 o'clock this morning. Now, earlier on, we spoke about how the Castle of Goodhope actually means different things to different people. Earlier on, I also spoke about how the Koisan people were part of those indigenous groups that were tortured, that were killed here. So the Castle of Goodhope speaks about the dispossession of land, the dispossession of livestock, and the dignity of those indigenous groups. But to talk us more, to us more about the Koisan people, we're now joined by researcher Dr. Willa Boesak. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Good morning. The Koisan people were actually the first people to bear the brunt of the colonial onslaught, which started actually in 1652. But when Van Riebeeck came, he came actually with solid intel that the local people at the Cape were hospitable people, so that he gave the green light to the VOC, that's the Dutch East India Company, which he worked for, to establish a refreshment station at the Cape.
350 years later, Mr. Boesak, we talk about how the Koisan people are now trying to reclaim their identity. Talk to us more about the cleansing ceremony that took place here at the castle.
Yes, the cleansing ceremony took place in August when we had a special service for Krotoa. But today we focus on Domen. What I need to tell the viewers is that in 1652, the person who was used as an interpreter was called a Chamao, and he already was working for and with the English ships that passed by on the way to the east for 20 years. So a Chamao was about 40 years of age, and then he started also to be interpreter for Van Riebeeck when he bartered with the local Khoi people, getting fresh meat, buying some of their livestock, etc. So, but within 3 years, in 1655, the barter became so extended that Van Riebeeck asked Achimau to recommend to another two people, and one of them was Domen. But what you should know, we normally talk about Domen, but his true name was Namoa.
Now, Dr. Boesak, the castle is so rich in history, and it's all good and well that we talk about what happened in the past, but how do the Koisan people reclaim their identity in 2016?
Well, yeah, you see, students normally talk about decolonization, and it's very important that we decolonize these symbols, these negative images that we had about the castle. The castle is one of those structures, forts, and it actually was the fort that they first built was a fortrunner for the castle. But so Domen, who is also to be going to be revealed here, is not directly connected to the castle as such, but to the history of the castle. So what we must do is to reshape our symbols and to decolonize them and to transform them into centers of learning, centers of healing, and centers where we can feel safe and also to connect with them.
Now, Dr. Boesak, you've done extensive research with regards to the Koisan people, but the Koisan people usually say that in general they are just not recognized in the country as a whole. What do you think of this?
Well, you must remember that history, and the writing of history, I should say, is in the hands of the powerful. So they would write it from their perspective. So what we did get for the past more than 300 years in our history is a purely colonial perspective, which actually, this man was our first freedom fighter in South Africa, but he is portrayed by Wagenaar, who followed on the next commander at the Cape, Wagenaar, when Domen died on 11th of December 1663. He was a youngish guy in his 20s. It was written in the journal that this was a mischievous rascal. You see, not a freedom fighter. So that images and that views and perspective that we must turn it around, look again at our history, and we must call upon our Department of Education to look at history and to reportray our people as they should be.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Well, that was Dr. Willa Boesak. He's done extensive research with regards to the Koisan people, and he was telling us a bit about that history. Now we go to Valen with the sport in studio.